Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Smiley Pod. Today, our first guest, we have Jahlyjah.
Hello there.
He's a good friend of mine, and today he's going to be talking about some of the challenges he's overcome over the years. So yeah, let's get started. First, I'd like to talk about your weight loss journey. What was that about?
All right, so I've always struggled with my weight, even when I was in middle school, fourth grade. But it really started to come up more and more when quarantine hit, because I've always had a big appetite my whole life. But I was in many sports as a kid. But when COVID hit, all I did was play video games, bought a PC and just sat inside pretty much. Yeah, no sports. And I gained about 70 pounds within a year, a little over a year. And I was around 230. And because I gained weight so fast and I was inside, it's not that I didn't realize it, but it was a shock. And I'd never been that heavy before. And I didn't realize how much of a struggle it would be to be that big. And when quarantine was starting to end and I was looking at myself and started hanging out with people more and more, I started becoming very self-conscious. I would look at myself every day, would not want to hang out, didn't want to go to school at all because I was so self-conscious about my weight. And I realized that I had to make a change. So I asked my mom, because she worked out, what's a good way to lose weight? And she had been a runner her whole life. So she started taking me out on runs. And I remember it took me 16 minutes to do a mile. I was very out of shape, physically and cardiovascular. And I ended up joining cross country the summer right before a sophomore year. And when I met my coach, he was he pretty much said you are never gonna be good at this. You are one of the most out of shape people on this team. And that didn't really put me down. It just made me want to work harder, and that's where I started to lose weight. And I started to watch YouTubers like Greg Doucette, Will Tennyson, very in my personal opinion, some of the best fitness influencers, and they help you really know how a calorie deficit works to lose weight, because fitness isn't just working out, but it's also what you eat. And a lot of people get confused on how to lose weight because they think, oh, just work out or eat healthy and you'll lose weight. But it's not about eating healthy, it's about being in a calorie deficit. So that can be any food. And the more I learned about that, the quicker I lost weight. And within a year of running and learning how to eat, I lost all the weight and I put on muscle. So yeah.
That's great, man. Now I want to focus on the mindset change, because I know to lose weight, you have to really shift your mindset, because you started off, you said in quarantine, your mindset kind of depleted. You're in the house a lot playing video games, nothing else to do, can't go outside. Mm-hmm. And then to switch that mindset, what did you do?
Well, I took a very unhealthy route, I'm not gonna lie. I see you should do everything in moderation, but since I was so self-conscious, I did everything to the extreme. I completely got rid of my PC, which was $1,200. I didn't even sell it, just got rid of it. I completely stopped playing video games. I focused only on working out, and I started fasting a lot. Everything I ate, I looked at the calories, because I developed a very bad eating disorder, and then in turn maybe have a binging disorder where I would hold off on eating for so long that I would eat everything. When I would get where I couldn't hold it anymore. So it was unhealthy, and I lost the weight rapidly, but in turn maybe had an eating disorder, and it wasn't that healthy. But over the past few months and over a year, I've started to fix it more and more. And I've realized I've come to the mindset that everything is good in moderation. You can eat junk and you can do certain things, but you have to know the consequences. And some people don't like counting calories, but you don't have to necessarily look at everything you're eating, but you should know what you're putting in your body and is it worth it? Some foods are just not worth eating if it's gonna count you that much and negatively. So really just switch your mindset to not being so ignorant and naive to what you're doing. You have to know what you're doing. And the more you just research stuff, you could find it could be easier to lose weight. Now I know things that are lower calorie and more not as dense, so that I can eat more of it, eggs, that's low calorie, high protein. So life got easier to lose weight the more knowledge you do. So the more knowledgeable you are, pretty much anything in life can get easier.
Yeah, I agree. And so I remember when I was going through a period of time when I was a bit overweight. It was around in middle school, and I just remember my mental like decline, and
Yeah.
I just wasn't confident in myself at all. So like, what were some of the mental challenges? You know, you said your self-esteem kind of drops. What were some of the other mental challenges you went through?
Not only my mental, like how I looked, because like in this society, in this generation, like how you look is very important. So that not only dropped, but then that affected how I acted with friends, because I couldn't really, since I was so self-conscious, I couldn't really make friends because I was like, well, I look like this and I don't want them to see me as like something else, which may not be true, but that's how I thought. And because of that, I wasn't doing physical activity, I wasn't going out, and my grades dropped. Like freshman year was the worst my grades had ever been. I had so many C's, and like everything dropped because my weight. Like one thing led to another. Like me being self-conscious about my weight made me lazy and doing other stuff, and just created a very bad mental health. Like
Yeah, it's crazy how one part of your life can affect so many different areas, and it really just goes to show how mental health is just a big aspect, and how your weight affected your mental health, how it affected different aspects of your life. Now you brought up like the friends you were hanging around. How important do you think a solid circle of friends is?
I think that's one of the most important things you can do. In middle school, I was known to hang out with like the cool kids or whatever. They were like some of the cool people that I hung out with because I thought like what they did was fun. But the more I realized it, like my teachers were telling me, like I personally wasn't doing anything crazy, but they were like doing drugs and having like crazy sexual stuff in middle school. And because of that, I wasn't doing that, but it brought me down because I had no one to like kind of motivate me to do anything, because everything I did was only like affecting me. Like I had no one to push to be better. Like no one pushed me to be better. Everyone was okay being average and just having fun. And now when I went to high school, I didn't talk to anyone freshman year. I was still hanging out with those middle school kids, and that's when I gained weight, and so did they, because they also weren't doing physical activity. And I don't talk to them anymore, but I have my social, and they're the same. But when I started talking to people on cross country and track, and people who were smart, like they were brought up well, and they did physical activity, they knew how to like handle themselves. It made me a better person, because then I was like, well, I don't want to be left behind. Like these kids, they are physically active, they have a good social life, their grades are good. Like I don't want to be left behind. So I started running a lot more because I didn't want to be one of the bad people like on the team. Like I wanted to actually put my effort and like show that I'm valuable. And their grades, like they're like some of the best grades in the class. So I was like, okay, well I can't be that one friend who's just like dumb. So I had to work harder. So I lost weight, I got more physically fit, my grades got better, and my mental health got better because of the group of people I was hanging out with. If I would have hung out with people that I hung out with in middle school who didn't care about their grades, aren't going to college, I'm not saying that college is what you have to do, but you have to have aspirations and goals, who didn't have any aspirations, and they just were kind of cool with having fun all the time. And you can have fun, but like that's not all you have to do. Then I don't know where I'd be right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you go to the gym, and if you're a lot of times when you're by yourself in the gym, it's like kind of hard to push yourself. But like when you surround yourself with like a group of people you go to the gym with, you are more able to push yourself to do more, especially if you see your workout partner doing more. And my dad always says you're only as great as the people you surround yourself by. So I think that's something that I definitely try to live by. So I try to surround myself with a solid group of friends, and including this guy right here. As you can see, he's made a lot of good progress in his life. So yeah, and I want to move on. What are your goals for college and life?
So my goals in college is to increase, well, one, like when it comes to physical, I want to put on more muscle, and I also want to complete another marathon. I want to do 100 marathons in my lifetime. I've done one so far, and I'm training for my next one. So that's something I want to do this like upcoming summer, and then like my following years in college. I also want to put on more muscle mass, because that's something that I've struggled with being a runner. Putting on muscle is kind of hard, but I mean, it's not impossible, so I'm going to do it. And I'm going into accounting, and I need to pass my CPA exam when I graduate, which is one of the hardest exams. Some say it's harder than the bar exam to be a lawyer. So really just, I need to start studying a lot, because I know that's what I want in my future. So I just have to really put myself out there, and I want to put myself in a good social gathering. I know that in college you can be peer pressure to do a lot of things like drugs and being in a lot of, not good surroundings. And I'm not saying I won't mess up or anything, but I want to put myself in a good environment so I can have success.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned marathons. Why are marathons so important to you?
It was just like when I started running, I couldn't even run a quarter of a mile. And the more I have, the past 3 years of running, almost 4, the more and more I've been able to run and getting up to like farther distances. It's just, I've realized that I've loved it so much, and it's really something to push forward to. Like, I like shorter distances, but as you get older, that's not really something you can do locally. And marathons, it's so global, and it's truly a big feat to run 26.2 miles as a human. Like, that's insane. So I really want to just do more of them because I just think it's so fun, and I want to qualify for the Chicago Marathon. So hopefully I qualify for that in the next couple of years.
Yeah, so at the college you're going to, you said Illinois State, right?
Yep.
How do you feel like you attending college with a lot of your friends, how do you feel like that will have a positive effect on you in your college life?
Yeah, I think it'll have a positive effect because the friends that I am going with and that I'm close with, these are people that I think are going to be people that are successful and they have goals in life. And being surrounded by people like that, it makes me want to push and succeed also. So just being around them from high school, where they helped me, to college will also help me. And also just knowing people, going into a new environment can really help because, of course, I want to meet new people. I am social, so I'm going to meet a lot of new people, but you want to have people to fall back on that really know you, especially the first year.
Yeah, for sure. Now, for this last section, we just got out of the Drake and Kendrick beef, okay? So I'm going to give you I'm going to let you defend Drake because I'm with Drake, and I'm going to let you show the audience why Drake is, first of all, better, why he's innocent.
Yep.
And here you go.
Yeah. See, I know this guy behind the camera, he's geeking right now because he probably doesn't agree, but Drake is innocent till proven guilty. See, a lot of celebrities, they do a lot of crazy stuff, right? But I am a man who believes that you are innocent unless there's proof. There's no proof, whether people want to say it or not. He was dissing Kendrick, and Kendrick in return just said some words and everybody wants to believe it. But did Kendrick have proof? No, he didn't have any proof. So I don't want to hear anything. Like, Drake has done so much for the community. I'm gonna need you to back up. He has done so much for the community, since God's plan. Like, he doesn't like little kids, bro. Like, he's a good guy. I don't need the 5'6" midget man who needs help to get the cookies from the top jar, to diss my man Aubrey from Degrassi. He has always been that guy, and he will always be that guy. And people want to talk about Millie Bobby Brown. That's because she was famous, and he was just getting good interactions and publicity, trying to create like a good environment for an upcoming star. He was not trying to get freaky with no little girl. He is Aubrey, and if you really wanted to mess with little kids, no one would know because he is more popular than most of the senators and the government. So if he really wanted to, you wouldn't find out. But guess what? He doesn't want to because he's not a weirdo and he's not a pedo, okay? He has enough money to disappear. He's not Jeff Epstein. So I need everybody to chill out because he's innocent, okay?
That was a very passionate defense of Aubrey Graham Drake, and I agree with every point that he made. Aubrey is innocent. Kendrick is just spreading propaganda.
Michael Jackson.
And, it's the same thing with Michael Jackson, but we're not going to go there. We're not going to
Michael
go there.
Jackson's innocent. Anybody who says otherwise is racist.
Yeah. Michael Jackson's also innocent. But yeah, I just want to thank you all for watching the Smiley Pod first episode. Thank you, Jahlyjah, for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate that. And tune in for the next one. See you guys later.